Hello everyone, my name is Amalia Astari, and today I'm going to give a brief presentation about the article I wrote for Inusharts 2020. During this global pandemic time, most of the researchers are facing several new obstacles to conduct their research. And that's not only the difficulty of being productive while staying at home, but also restrictions to visit libraries or national archives in person to collect their data. But as the information technology is improving, the digital database for archives as well as primary and secondary literature are mostly available on the internet. In the Dutch studies field, there is one digital library called dbnl.org or de Digitale Bibliotheek voor de Nederlandse Letteren. Established in 1999, dbnl is the main digital platform used by Dutch studies researchers or historians. This website contains thousands of texts and book collections about literature, history, culture, and even linguistics, all written in Dutch. In my research, I'm going to use the digital files from the dbnl.org, and I will analyze the works of female authors in the Dutch English literature. But I'm going to make a selection of the literatures I'm going to use for this research, because the definition of Dutch Indies literature I used in my research are split in two different definitions. The first definition of the Dutch Indies literatures are the works of the authors, or in the context of my research, are female authors in the period of the Dutch East Indies 1900 until 1945. But there are also another definition of the Dutch Indies literature. So the Dutch Indies literatures include not only the books that are written in the period of the Dutch Indies literatures, but also the books that have stories that are taken place and time in the colonial period or in the Dutch colonial period in the Netherlands, in the Dutch East Indies. So to make my selection easier, I take both of the definitions, and so I specified data to only the fiction novels. And I'm going to use the website damescompartiment.nl. Damescompartiment.nl is the only website, or maybe the only source, that has ever listed the names of the female authors in the genre of the Dutch Indies literature. So this is the page of Dames Compartiment online, and in this website you can see from A to Z the names of the writers in the context of the Dutch Indies literatures, and all of them are female authors. So based on this list, I search their works on dbnl.org. So based on the list from the Dames Compartiment, I can only collect 12 digital files. Most of them are published in the period of 1800 until 1945, except for Buiten het Gareel, that is written by Swarsi Joyopuspito and published in 1946, pretty close to the Dutch colonial period. But this book is really interesting because besides Swarsi Joyopuspito and Gartini, all of the writers that are listed in Dames Compartiment are either Indo writer or Dutch writers. So in this analysis, it's going to be really interesting how these two native Indonesian writers are being compared with the other Indo and Dutch writers with the computational tool. So the computational tools that I'm using for my research are Stylo and Ankonk. Stylo as an open access R package that you can run in R or RStudio. And it is basically focusing on the stylometry analysis. What is stylometry? Stylometry tools serve a quantitative study of the analysis of the writing styles. This package is particularly useful for my research in the exploration of the similarity of the genre in the context of female Dutch Indies literature. These tools can help us to compare the writing styles of one book to another and then classify the closeness of the genre from one book to another. The second computational tool that I used is Unconc. To take a closer look to the text, I use this tool. This tool can see the most frequent word and list it and compare the most frequent word from one text to another text.
Using Stylo and Unconc, I'm gonna see the similarity of the writing styles, and I'm gonna try to cluster the genre, and the last one is conclude the main themes according to the most frequent word. This research is gonna be a quantitative research, but in the end of this research, I'm also gonna do an interpretation or close reading to see the using of the most frequent word in each text. The first experiment, I'm running the RStudio and open the Stylo using function library Stylo, and then it will appear the introduction of the package, and then I'm gonna run the function Stylo brackets, which is currently the main tool in the package, and as you can see, there is a GUI parameters popped up, and here you can set the language. You can also set the features. You set the minimum and maximum most frequent word that you want to analyze in the text. Here I set it to 1000 minimum and 5000 maximum. And then the statistic I'm going to use is the cluster analysis because I want to see the closeness of the genre from one text to another, and I'm using the basic classic delta function. And the output, I am going to see the graphics on screen and also the output as a PDF. And then I clicked OK. And then it will automatically analyze the texts, and as you can see, the graphic will appear on the right side of the screen. From 12 novels, there are only 11 novels that are recognized by Stylo, and it shows that the corpus preparation is one of the most important parts for this computational analysis. This experiment, I changed the setup 15 times because even the slightest change in the experiment setup might cause a severe reshaping of the final dendrograms. These dendrograms classify the novels written by the same author in the same cluster, and it means that this tool can recognize the similarity of writing style in one author. What is also interesting is that this tool classifies the works of Gardini and Suarzi in the same cluster. Based on this clusteral analysis from Stylo, I then take a closer look to the text by using Unconc. I'm gonna run the first cluster, that is a novel by Suarzi, Gardini, and Lulov, and here I start a word list, and then this is the result of the word list, the most frequent word from the 3 novels. From the bunch of words in this list, I only consider noun, verb, and adjective and ignore the rest. And then here there are some features that you can see. You can see the word list, and then you find the word that you consider as a noun, then you click it, and you can see the concordance, where does the word appear, and then if you click the concordance, the Franse Frauen, and then you can see the whole text, and it makes the reading process easier because it leads directly to the word that you wanted to see. And here you can see the heads of the word in each novels. How exactly do I analyze a word list? Let me give you an example. So, from the analysis of the cluster 1, as you can see, I got the hits of the word Frau, which means woman. And in the tab concordance, I can see the words that appear before the word Frau, so the words related with the word Frau. And this example is the freie Frau, or free woman. And then if you click the concordance of the freie Frau, then you can see the text which consists of these words. I then analyze the using of these words in the text and interpret the context of the words. In this case, the distant reading that I did before with Ankong and stylo then turned into close reading, and I interpret that in 3 different bigger themes. And these are 3 main themes that appear in 11 books that I successfully analyzed using 2 computational tools, and in the end I interpret that using close reading methods, but based on the data that I got from the computational tools analysis. In conclusion, the research I conducted is only a simple example of how we can apply computational tools in the literature studies. The ability of the tools to do a fast distant reading can help humanities researchers in literature, history, cultural studies, or linguistics field to simplify the process of analyzing big amount of data. And moreover, in the limitation of personal absence, researchers can get used to the digital data available on the internet. That was my presentation for Inusharts 2020, and if you have any further questions or feedback, do not hesitate to ask and contact me. Thank you.